What's up, everybody? You are back on the other side with Mike G, where we don't just talk about wins and losses. We talk about what it costs to become who you are. Today's guest is a man you have seen in the fire, sometimes bold, sometimes emotional, always intense, because he's carrying something bigger than a fight card. He is the president and founder of the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and one of the most important figures in combat sports history. Mr. David Feldman, welcome to the show, sir.
What's going on, Michael? Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you very much for coming on. It's been a minute since Texas. Outside of bare knuckle world, what have you been doing in the last few months?
Nothing.
Just bare knuckle world.
Yeah, man, it's been tough, man. I mean, it's a long journey. The only thing I did was last weekend I went to Conor McGregor's wedding. You know, that wasn't fight related, but was semi-fight related. But
Sure.
it's we've got a lot of really good stuff coming up for 26. That's going to actually give us a little bit of breathing room, even though we're going to expand a lot. But it's been head down and walk into the wall and build this thing as big as we can build it.
Absolutely. Take me back to being a kid in Philly. Who did you look up to? Who did you want to be like?
I wanted to be like, I didn't really have like an actual idol. My mom got hurt at a young age, and I kind of, she was like my idol because of all the shit that she went through and how she had to overcome it. So that was kind of like my idol. But I don't really, it was a rough childhood, and I didn't really know who to really look up to at that time. So I just know that, I took a lot of good from my mom and from my dad on both sides of it, and I figured out how to be persistent, how to never quit, and just make stuff work. And that's why we are where we are today.
What did you learn about being a man from the men in your life when you were little?
My dad taught me a few really good things. I'm actually looking at his quote here. I got a picture of him hanging on the wall. It says, "There's no such thing as being 99% loyal. You're either 100% or get the hell out of here." So,
Yes, sir.
And that means like you can't be with me like when it's going good, and then something bad happens, and then you're questioning whether you're with me or not. Then you're not with me. I think like we talked about this yesterday, like a true friend, a true person in your life will call you a piece of shit to your face and say, "Hey, you're doing this wrong," but behind your back will praise the world about you. And that's a real friend, right? He talks good about you behind your back, but to your face, he tells you the truth. And that's who you want in your life, and that's a part of being 99% loyal. The other thing is everybody has to skate. This is a thin line. It's a thin line between lying and telling the truth and bullshitting, right? Like as a promoter, you got to hype a little, you got to bullshit a little, but you can't lie. And one thing that he taught me was, he said, if you don't lie, you never have anything to remember. You don't have to remember anything. So don't lie. So I don't lie. I skate a little bit around it because I'm waiting for this to get signed, or I'm waiting for this to get signed. So you have to go out and promote and hype stuff up. And that's what I do. But I mean, I think that's, the kind of things that I was taught by men growing up in my life. And, the other thing was just like, if you're with somebody, you're with somebody. And it goes back to the loyalty thing. But like, if you're walking down the street and the fight's going to go down, you got to be with that person, no matter how high the odds are stacked against you. You got to be willing to go down. And if you're not willing to go down, I don't want to walk down the street with you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm going to start a fight, but if we're going to have a problem, I want to know that you're not going the opposite way and drilling a hole in the boat as we're rowing. And I've seen that a lot. Actually, I've seen that more than I wanted to see it in the rise of BKFC. But it taught me a lot about the people that are really loyal to me and really with me. It taught me how much I value them and how much I appreciate them and how much I want to do, change their lives, to do the best I can for BKFC to change their lives first. And, that is my whole entire team, my son and everybody else on my team. And then obviously, my wife put up with a lot of, this is not easy. It's not easy being married to a partner that is traveling 3 to 4 days a week. It's just not easy, right? Your imagination will run wild with you. You'll be, making stuff up in your head just because you don't know what's going on in it. And it's tough. And that's why, you know, it's important to really have a great foundation in everything. So I'm not just saying in your marriage, in your company, in your
Hmm.
team. If you have a good foundation, you'll know where you're going. And I made some mistakes. I had some people in my life and in my team that we were all rowing the boat, and while we were rowing the boat, they were drilling a hole in it, right, and trying to sink us.
Hmm.
But at the same time, that taught us so many things about who we are as a company and how strong we really truly are. Because I
Hmm.
said it at the press conference last week or 2 weeks ago that if you compare how many employees we have to the UFC or to PFL or to Top Rank Boxing, I mean, we pale in comparison, like tremendously.
Hmm.
And we're putting out more products than really anybody else out there, except for the UFC. So I think it says a lot about the tenacity, the loyalty, and the drive of my team. And that's why
Hmm.
I'm very, very happy to have the team that I have.
Absolutely. Do you remember the first time somebody punched you in the face and how it affected you?
Yeah, I mean, it was young, man. I mean, honestly, it was like, I was born.
Playground style.
Yeah, I'm saying I was born into fighting, so I don't know. Was it 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old?
Wow.
Who knows? I mean, I remember the first time though that I can remember. I was like 7 years old, and this kid on the street pulled my hair, and I went in the house and I started crying to my dad, and I'm like, "He pulled my hair," and he's like, "Go back out there and do what you do in the heavy bag to him." And I was like, "Bing, bing, 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 bing." And I walked in. Like, yeah, that was awesome. So I mean, listen, we've been doing this for such a long time, and you know, it's funny you said fighting on a playground because that's actually one of the things that I describe bare knuckle fighting to relatable. It's
Hmm.
relatable because we all did it. We all fought in
Hmm.
a playground or saw someone fight in a playground. We've all punched someone in the face or been punched with the face or
Hmm.
saw someone do the same thing. We get it. We understand it. We're there. We did it. So because of that, we can back this sport because if you see the fans in BKFC, they're not just sitting there like this. They're like this. Like they're
Hmm.
like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's because it's so exciting. It's so real. And I use the word relatable. It's so relatable. People get it. And I think that's why the sport in itself, not just the promotion, but the sport is really catching on. When I became the first legal sanctioned and regulated bare knuckle fighting event in the history of the world,
Hmm.
June 2nd, 2018. 2018, the first. Today, 7 years later, there's over 100 bare knuckle promotions around the world.
Hmm.
So hats off to everybody that's opening their own promotion and growing this sport. And we are blessed and lucky, and just you know, I get it. It's such a blessing to be the leader of bare knuckle fighting in the world, and you know, I don't take that for granted.
That's awesome. I when it came out, I watched your interview with Ariel, and like a lot of people, I was surprised, shocked. Did not know that about you. I know Rolling Stone touched on it. I don't ever read a magazine, and I'm not going to lie. I got extremely emotional over it. I may get emotional talking with you about it. To my knowledge, that's the first time you openly spoke about it to the world. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of what you shared in that, if that is okay with you. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, and I don't want you to relive the story. I'd like to kind of ask um, some questions about it that aren't direct, if that's okay. If
No,
not, you just let me know.
ask him, and if I want to answer them, I'll answer them, and if I don't, I won't. Because there's
Okay.
also, you know, I'm working hard personally, to be honest with you, and I don't think that someone in my stature will go out in public and say this, but I'm working personally on putting a lot of the demons in my past to
Hmm.
bed. So I'll let you know
Absolutely.
if it's
Okay.
comfortable. I will. If it's not, I won't.
I understand. Okay. What part of your childhood still lives inside you today, like it just happened from it,
My whole childhood does.
all of it?
Yeah, it was a rough childhood, man. I mean, it
Hmm.
wasn't just that. There's a lot of rough stuff eh, that happened to me and around me during my childhood. And listen, I know a lot of people had rough childhoods and a lot of people suffered from abuse and different things like that. But I didn't on the Ariel show, I told one part of my story. I have a big story to tell, but I'm not prepared to tell that yet. But when I am, you know, it's going to go in conjunction with an announcement that's going to open up a foundation that I'm starting. So it has to coincide with each other, and I'm just not ready to unleash that yet. But I live with it all the time. I mean, and you know, like, I'm not scared to tell you, like, you know, I see a therapist twice a week. You know,
I think that's awesome.
I see one for one thing, I see one for another thing. And listen, man, when I first started, I was like, am I allowed to curse on this? I don't.
Absolutely.
I'm like, man, you got to be a pussy to go to therapy. Like, come
Sure.
on, man. And now I'm like, man, this is the toughest thing I've ever done in my life because I'm facing myself. Like, I'm facing. I think everybody wants to be able to look themselves in the mirror and really like what they see. And I don't think a
Absolutely.
lot of people will take the steps to actually really look themselves in the mirror and like what they see. They just won't, because it's tough. It's no joke. It's no joke reliving the horror story of my childhood. But I have to relive it,
Sure.
because if I don't relive it, I'll never get to the place where I need to be in life.
Absolutely.
As a person, forget professionally. Look, I'm gonna crush this professionally, because I won't let anybody take me down. There's not a chance in the world that I won't make this second or third biggest thing that ever happened to combat sports. There's not a chance in the world I'll die before, you know, I fail. It's not gonna not
Hell
happen.
yeah.
So, but personally, as a person, man, like, you know, people, I think because of how much, I guess when you're running a public company like this, you're in the public eye a lot. And I think people don't even imagine what it could be like being that person on that's running that stuff, and all the pressures and everything that comes with that. It's not a cakewalk. It's not easy. You know, we're funding this thing piece by piece by piece to make it the biggest thing in the world. And now we have a lot of great people talking to us, and we have an unbelievable team for 2026 that we're bringing in. We're actually going to launch that on January 2nd and 3rd, our annual meeting. We're bringing in 12 new people to work for BKFC, like big time guys in the industry.
Awesome.
Like, it's not just that we're bringing in a new secretary or a new assistant. I'm talking big time needle movers in combat sports. And I think it's pushes, you know, to a nice limit, to a great limit. But, you know, just going back to, it's just, you know, there's a lot of pressures, man. This is not, it's not for the faint hearted, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you must have thick skin to be in this sport.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you. You shared that your mother. There's a painting that your mother did on the wall. I wanted to know what she painted.
Hold on a sec.
Okay.
This is the painting my mom painted. She painted that with a paintbrush in her mouth. So she painted it with her mouth.
That's amazing. That's awesome, Dave.
Yeah, you know, it's right here. Stuff gets rough. You know, you want to throw the towel in, and I go, how can I throw the towel in when this woman couldn't move her arms or legs? You know, she had a horrifying life, and she never gave up.
Absolutely, man. I love it. What's the most honest sentence you can say about your mother and how she shaped the man you are?
I mean, she was the personification of, you know, it's a quote from my favorite movie. It's I can't remember the fucking first part of it, but it's, what's the guy's name in Shawshank Redemption? But he crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
Andy Dufresne?
Yeah, Andy Dufresne. Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
On the other side.
She crawled through 10 rivers of shit, and she held her head high, man, and just did, like, nobody, not many people, probably, I might not be able to say nobody, but I don't know anybody that would have been able to go through what she went through and smile to the very fucking end. And she did. And that taught me so much about life, and, you know, why I'll never really give up, quit, and And you know, I just look at life a lot differently now.
Gotcha. Um, this may be one that you don't want to answer. Regarding the absolute piece of shit who's responsible for what happened, what are your thoughts now, nowadays, on justice and closure?
I think
Do you
my
feel
thought,
like it's square?
yeah, no, it definitely is, and I think that you know, he has to, he had to, I think he died now. He had to face
Okay.
God. You know,
Okay.
he
Good.
had to face the ultimate judge, and he's, you know, got whatever sentence was coming to him. So, you know, if I could live that all over again, I probably would have done the same exact thing. But you know, it was it's something that you could imagine how many times I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about it. So
Yeah.
it was tough.
When I heard you talk about it on Ariel's show, I honestly didn't know he had passed when you and Ariel were talking about it, but I wanted to know where he was
Yeah,
after you told that story. I bet there were thousands of people ready to go find him.
yeah, you know, it's unfortunate. I mean, but that type of thing happens so much, and
Mhm.
that's part of what I'm going to do and what I'm going to build. But
Awesome.
it happens a lot, and you know, it's unfortunate. It sucks. It does suck. But my mom, I don't think I would be here today, really, truly leading BKFC in the way I am if it wasn't if my mom if that didn't happen to my mom. I think
Absolutely.
if I grew up with my mom as my mom and running around and she was always there for me, I don't know if I would have had the drive and tenacity to do what I'm doing. I think that 90% of what I do is in honor of my mother.
You might have ended up a different kind of knucklehead. um, I want to know about the moment that BKFC went from idea to plan and obsession. What brought that about?
So I did an event in Arizona in July August 2nd, 2011. It was my first event I ever did on an Indian reservation. I did um, amateur mixed martial arts fights with one bare knuckle fight as the main event, and that did like 700 and something thousand views on a streaming site called Ustream, and the paywall crashed, so we didn't get paid.
Oh
But
no.
we saw, I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. I'm just going to go out there now and go to every state. I'm going to make this the biggest thing in the world, blah, blah, blah. Had no idea about funding, how to structure a company, P&Ls, like nothing.
Right.
I was just like, this is it. Everybody likes it. We're going to go. So I went, that started my journey of pitching different states and being turned down. You know, I got turned down by 28 states, a total of about 70-ish times total that I got turned down in the next 6.5, 7 years. In that time, we did underground fights, you know, legal bare knuckle fights. We had Rolling Stone magazine, Men's Journal, Forbes. We had all different magazines that were interested in the product. So I had to give it to them and do it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it because it got people talking about it. So if people stop talking about it, then the idea is dead, right?
Right.
So I had to get them talking about it. So I continued to do that. And I met really hell of a human being, not just for what he did for me, but he's just a real great guy. Brian Pedersen, he was the head of the Wyoming State Athletic Commission,
Mhm.
and he said, "Let's do it." So late 2017, he gave me the go ahead. In that interim, in that 7 years, I started and stopped a million times. Like, yeah, we're going to be legal. Yo, to Dave Jr. Dave, we're legal. Oh, this is great. Let's do it. And then 2 weeks later, no, we're not going to prove. Not gonna prove. Same thing happened here in late 2017. He told me we were good, and then in March, um, you know, the event was June 2nd. In March, we got a call from the governor that he wasn't going to allow the fight to happen. So
Oh,
again, we're like, man, what's going on? So I just had a heart to heart with Brian, and I said, man, I promise you, this is going to be the best thing that you've ever seen, and you're going to be a part of history and a part of legacy. You got to do
mhm.
whatever you can do to get this done. And he called me 2 days later, He said, I got the signature. We're good to go. So
Hell yeah.
June 2nd, 2018, we started this journey, man. And wow, what a journey, man. I mean, think about it. Like, I just went over to Italy for,
Mhm.
like I said, for Connor's wedding. I went to an underground fight. They had an underground fight there. It's called Striker is the league.
Okay.
So it's, just a little underground thing they do outside. And there was two guys wearing BKFC shirts in Italy in an underground fight. And I was just like, man, like, it's crazy how big this thing has grown and how
Mhm.
wide it's grown. And, it's just really, really amazing. But, we just pressed the gas pedal and here we are, 2000, almost 2026, hopefully in the next 2 years, we're the second biggest combat sport promotion in the world.
I absolutely think it'll happen. Going back through the whole 7 years. What if you had to pinpoint the biggest make or break moment in the company? Is that something you can share?
I mean, I think there was 4 or 5 of them,
Okay.
and they were all. I think the biggest make or break in the company was April 27th, I believe it was 26th. It was BKFC 41. It was Luke Rockhold versus Mike Perry, Eddie Alvarez versus Chad Mendez, and that's the event Conor McGregor came to, fell in love with it, and then ultimately got involved with us. But what people don't know is, hold on, let me see what that date was. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. April 29th. So Saturday, April 29th is when this company really turned the corner. Friday, April 28th, that event cost me about $4.5 million. I want to put this in perspective. Friday, April 28th, I had 200 grand. I was like, what am I going to do here? Because we had an investor fall out. And I'm like, what are we going to do?
Shit.
Pull the event on the biggest joke in combat sports. And if I do the event and I don't pay the guys, I'm the biggest thief in combat sports. And I just, I met with my son, who was my right hand man, and my guy Howard, who really has helped me. And I also asked my wife. I told her, I said, listen, I'm all in now, and I had already filed for a home equity loan on my house, so that was
Mhm.
already in process. So that brought it up to about a little over $1 million, and I was like, we got to go for it. And then we did the event, and because I gambled on the event, like I said,
Mhm.
is the event going to be good enough? I had no idea Connor was coming at that point. Right? Is the event going to be good enough to where people are going to talk and say, I want to be a part of that thing?
Right.
And the calculated risk we took is there was no other major events that weekend. UFC wasn't on. There was no major boxing events. So I was like, we can own this weekend. I honestly, everybody said no. Howard, my son, and my wife said, let's do it. And we did it. And like, it give me chills now, man. It's like
Mhm.
on Monday, I remember going to an Ariel Hawani show. He goes, hey, you owned that weekend. That was unbelievable. And by Wednesday, I had the money because I had investors like actually outbidding each other to invest in the company because they saw. I mean, that event from head to toe was the best event we've ever done to date, and obviously high profiled. Eddie
Sure.
Alvarez, Chad Mendez was an unbelievable event, an unbelievable fight. And then Mike Perry, what he did to Luke Rockhold and the other fights on the undercard, it was just tremendous. And that's the one I think that really made us, because that was the one that could have broke us. That was the make or
Okay.
break moment in BKFC. And there was other events that had similar storylines, but that was the one where it was literally like, if the fights didn't pan out good, nobody talked about it. We didn't get the money and we're out of business and we're being sued. But
Uh,
we went for it. And I started this company with $100,000. I had 100 grand. I started this company and I raised a little bit of money for the first event. Started with 100 grand. and we're valued at, depending on who's doing the valuation, between $300 and $400 million. So that's quite a come up. And the only thing I ever pat myself on the back for on that is that I had the balls to go for it.
Mhm.
That's it.
Just so you know, this morning, Forbes lists it at 413.
Okay.
So very good. Um, what do you think the fighter's first impression is of you when they meet you?
I think I have the most unique relationship with the fighters of all promoters out there. I've been punched in my face, right? Like
Hmm.
literally, I've been punched in my face. I did bare knuckle fights when the fighters didn't show up. So I think they appreciate the the balls that it takes to do that. I think they understand that I get that what it takes to get punched in the face, and I never screwed them over ever. I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes they ask for more money, and I have to explain to them why it just doesn't work. Like if I give you this kind of money, then everybody else wants this kind of money, and then the company's out of business. So I got to kind of just explain it to them. But I think I really I get along with the fighters because I've been punched in the face, and I think that makes them. And I carry myself properly. I'm a
Hmm.
professional, and I don't help every single fighter on the roster. But if a fighter calls me and says, "Hey, boss, I can't pay my rent this month," bang, I'm helping them pay their rent. Or, "Hey, I lost my house in the hurricane. What can you do?" I'm helping
Hmm.
them out. Or, "Hey, it's been a rough year. It just happened yesterday. I can't buy my kids Christmas presents." Bang, give them a little bit of cash. I'm not giving money to everybody because if I
Sure.
do, I'm broke. But I'm doing what I can do when I can do it, and I think that goes a long way and makes them have some appreciation for the grind.
Sounds like family.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. What do you think the biggest misconception that the fighters maybe have about you or the company is?
I think they just think that we're rolling in money, and I think that's the biggest
Sure.
misconception because when you
Okay.
have a valuation like you just said of 412 or 13 million, that makes them think, wow, we have 412 million. No, that means that if we sold the company, we would be valued at that to sell it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we have any money right now, really. So I think the misconception is that we're rolling in all this money and we don't want to give them more money. That's not the case. The case
Yeah.
is we're going event to event. We're trying to grow this thing. But the goal is to really take care of these guys. And that's
Hmm.
why I gave equity stakes to all the champions and all the long
Hmm.
tenured fighters that have at least 10 fights or more with us because they deserve it.
That's
I mean, let's
awesome.
face it, if I didn't have the money or the ability and the balls to raise the money to do the fights, they would never happen. But
Hmm.
if I didn't have the baddest motherfuckers in the world fighting for me, they wouldn't be valued as shit.
Hmm.
So each hand has to watch the other hand. And when we do get to a point where we can make it, there won't be a fighter on the roster ever talking shit on us because they're going to
Sure.
know. They just don't know. So the misconception is they're they're not schooled enough to understand the finance part of this thing and to understand that we're not rolling in money. Because you see, yes, we sold 7,000 tickets. Yes, we're going to sell 18,000 tickets, but you don't know that the fight costs more than those 18,000 tickets.
Hmm.
So that's probably the biggest misconception we have.
Okay. Yeah, that's not 400 liquid.
No.
That's lights, ropes, seats. That's all of it.
Yep.
Um, I think this is something that you've probably been asked before, but never in this way. What is you hear talk about the struggle between bringing in named veterans and young up and coming guys. What in your view, what is the perfect mix?
I think it's bringing in four to six big name guys a year and growing the roster from the bottom up. I think
Okay.
that's success. I think that sometimes the guy goes, "Why would you bring this guy in and pay him that kind of money?" Because listen, although you probably are more capable than him and you can fight better than him and you might have a better personality than him, 1,000 times more people know him and talk about
Hmm.
him and follow him, and they're going to bring people in to watch him fight. And in the interim, it's going to make them watch you fight.
Hmm.
So I just think that a lot of the fighters don't really understand what you know the method to the madness, but there is
The
a method to
building.
the madness. And do you think I want to pay these guys that kind of money? Hell no, man. It's, for instance, if I pay a fighter $1 million and it's the right fighter, I get like $20 million in media value out of that. So that's where that cashes in. It might not cash in like on the P&L on the bottom line, but it cashes in when you talk about how many more people now talked about BKFC, like when we signed Perry, when we signed Luke Rockhold, when we signed Eddie Alvarez, when Jitch had all these times, everybody talked about us. And that's why we became who we became.
It's all about building, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Where do you see the sport in 10 years? Is it going to surpass the UFC at some point, in your opinion?
Say that again.
Where do you see BKFC in 10 years? Do you think at some point it will surpass the UFC?
I think it has the capability to surpass the UFC. It really depends on what the UFC does. I think this Paramount deal, I hate to use the same word, is paramount for the growth of the UFC, because they're not going to have pay-per-view anymore, right? So they're going to get a chance for a lot more people to really know and watch their sport. So I think they have a chance to really grow. But I just think that once we get hooked to the right TV deal, and we announced the docuseries the other day, once the people get to invest in the fighters, know the fighters, and really invest in them, it's game over for BKFC. So who knows? I mean, there's no doubt in my mind we will never be anything less than the second biggest combat sport promotion in the world within 2 years.
Okay. What one day when you're an old man, and I don't feel bad saying that because we're really close to the same age, and I'll be an old man at the same time, and you're sitting on the porch in your rocking chair drinking some sweet tea or espresso or whatever, mumbling to yourself about the good old days in the BKFC, what do you hope your legacy is in the fight game and life?
I just think my legacy in the fight game is going to be like, this guy had the balls to take an idea to a dream to reality. Like, he had the balls to put it all on the line to do that. And because of that, he changed many people's lives in the interim. And that's what I hope to be remembered for. That's what I really hope to be remembered for as a fighter. As a person, I think when it's said and done and my journey's done here, I think that people will understand me a lot more and understand that what the journey was really about. The journey this is a bridge to get to the next spot for me. This is not financially, to be able to do things to change people's lives. I mean, I'm all about changing people's lives because I want to change good people's lives, right? And if good people that bet on me, I want to make sure that they win their bet. And people that have rough childhoods and abused, and a lot of people, if you weren't abused as a child and you didn't go through sexual and physical abuse and stuff like that, if you didn't go through that, you don't understand the effect it has on you as an adult. So I want to make sure that I have a foundation out there that is going to be able to help these children transition from that abused child to an adult. That's my main goal in life. And once I do that, it doesn't matter what happens.
That's awesome, man.
Fulfilled.
What is your personal definition of the word redemption?
I don't know if I don't really know what my personal definition would be. It's just, redemption is, you're knocked down in life, and I don't know if it's redemption or not, or I don't know, maybe it is.
Okay.
You're knocked down in life, and, you just find every way to pull yourself back. And, like some people go, it's the haters and it's this, and I'm doing it for them. I'm not doing it for any of them motherfuckers. I'm doing it for the people that supported me. So I don't know if that's redemption with the way that I would describe it, but I mean, if I had to describe redemption, it would be, look, man, you're knocked down and you find a way to get back up and walk through that wall, man. And that's what I do every day. And people don't understand, like, it's not just professionally, but personally, I do it every day. I get up and I have to walk through a wall that's trying to push me back to be the person I don't want to be, right? And to be the leader I don't want to be. And I think the one thing that I've really done in BKFC is I saw this quote a long time ago, and I try to live it. Be the type of leader that you would follow. And I think I would follow me through a firestorm any day of the week.
Absolutely. I'm to the last section. We got maybe 10 minutes left. Are we okay on time?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. No BKFC, no bare knuckle included. I want to know who is on your Mount Rushmore of combat sports athletes. Any combat sport, any era. Who are the greatest 4 fighters in history?
So you talking about the greatest fighters or the greatest impact?
Either one.
Okay.
Most important to you.
I mean, people are going to laugh because he's my partner, but Conor McGregor certainly changed the face of mixed martial arts. The greatest mixed martial arts fighter of all time? No. Is he the GOAT of mixed martial arts in the influence that he had over mixed martial arts and getting people interested in it? He's the GOAT. He is. And then the rest of them are going to be boxing. Obviously, I guess the influence that Muhammad Ali had on the sport of boxing was second to none. So you have to put Muhammad Ali there. Mike Tyson, just the way that, he got so many more people that weren't even interested in boxing, just saying, hey, let's watch this guy fight to see if he knocks the guy out in the first round again. Not even a boxing fan, but you're a violent fan, right? You wanted to see that violence. And then my actual fighter that I just loved he was a fighter in the 70s and 80s was Marvin Hagler, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Oh, yeah.
He was a phenomenal fighter, and then he turned into an actor, and then he unfortunately passed away. But that's probably my personal 4, and I think most people can agree with me on 3 or 4 of them, 3 out of 4 of them. But that's what I would go with.
Yeah, Hagler and Hearn's greatest round in boxing history.
Yep, absolutely.
In my opinion, for sure.
Yep.
All right. These next questions are kind of pick one or the other style. I promise you've never been asked most of these in an interview before. You're probably going to think I'm goofy or worse, but hopefully I make you laugh at least once. Pats or Genos?
I'm sorry that I can't answer that question because it's actually a different one.
Okay. Well, shout them out. Who is it?
Well, there's so many. The one I think is the best around. It's Philip Steaks. I actually, what people don't know is I promoted a lot of events, not just combat sports events, but I promoted the first ever Philadelphia Cheesesteak Festival in 2016, and we had 27,000 people there and 100 cheesesteak vendors. So that's when I got to know who is the best cheesesteak. I mean, Pat's and Geno's both great staples for the city of Philadelphia, but I think now the funny thing is because some competition opened up, close to them. I think that now they're actually trying a lot harder to put out the best product possible. But there's a lot out there, man. But Philip Steaks is my guy. Steve's Princess Steaks is good. Skinny Joey's cheesesteaks. That's Joey Merlino's place. That's really, really good. And then you got Pat's and Geno's. You got a lot of them. I mean, there's probably in the city of Philadelphia, you probably have 300 cheesesteak establishments. It's crazy.
Okay. What's your favorite Rocky movie?
I think it's between Rocky 1 and Rocky 4.
Russia?
Yeah. I think Rocky 1 just because it's where it all started and it was a great story. It was a great story.
Okay.
Underdog story, right? I love underdog stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coffee or energy drinks?
So, that's a tough one. I
know you're getting your caffeine every day, Dave.
I can't drink much energy drinks anymore because I actually had a little thing on my heart. Nothing bad, but just a little, it was beating a regular heartbeat. Nothing crazy. But, I mean, if I could, it would be energy drink all day.
Gotcha.
It would be bucked up, knuckle up. I mean, bare knuckle punch. It's the best.
Okay.
Try bare knuckle punch. It's Chick-fil-A lemonade flavored. It's unbelievable.
Okay. Yeah. I've been on the Miami a lot lately. It reminds me of a can of fruit cocktail when I was a kid with some whipped cream in it.
Yep.
Okay. Who would have been the better bare knuckle fighter, Bruce Lee or Chuck Norris?
Probably, I think Bruce Lee.
Okay.
I think he would have snuck it in there better than Chuck Norris would have.
A little quicker.
Yeah.
Okay. I ask everyone this question, and I'm not leaving it out for you, Dave. In your bathroom at home, does the toilet paper feed over the roll or under?
Over.
Okay. Uh, what's your favorite animal at the zoo?
The lion.
Most common answer. Awesome.
I mean,
Okay.
I really, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say I have a fascination, but I have a really good liking for elephants.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
elephants. Yeah.
Intelligence, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be misunderstood or underestimated?
I mean, I've been underestimated my whole life, so I
You're used to that.
love being underestimated. I love
Okay.
it. Actually, what is? Hold on 1 second, because I think
Okay.
this. Well, I think I have it in here, or don't I? I might not.
Yep, I feel that.
There it is.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Both in their prime, who wins, Ali or Tyson?
I think Tyson.
Okay. All right. Same question, GSP or Anderson Silva?
Silva.
Okay. What is worse, being punched in the face or stepping on a Lego barefoot in the middle of the night?
Probably stepping on a Lego.
Absolutely. Okay. You're going to go commit a bank robbery, Dave, and you have to take two people with you, a gunman and a getaway driver. Who are you taking?
I'm taking I'm taking my boy Sergio,
Okay.
and I'm taking my son. My son is the
choices.
driver. My son's the driver. Sergio's going to gun him down for me, but
Okay. You have to sing one song, and this isn't Happy Birthday, Star Spangled Banner, Nursery Rhymes, an actual song, start to finish, word for word, zero mistakes for $1 million. What song are you singing?
No mistakes. Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight.
Great choice. Great choice. Dave, for anyone who's watching this interview or going to watch this interview who may be going through personal struggles right now or feeling like they're broken or like giving up, what would you say to them about continuing to stay strong and staying in the fight?
Don't be afraid to talk to somebody. Like, that's the most important thing, because everybody wants to keep it quiet because they don't. Being vulnerable is a hard thing in life, right? Because sometimes when you're vulnerable and you want to talk to somebody, they say the wrong thing to you or they react the wrong way. And I call it that steps all over your vulnerability, and then you'll never be vulnerable again. But you got to talk to somebody because it happened. I mean, I know it. It was there. So you got to talk to somebody. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody.
Yes, sir. Last thing I'd like to talk about, let's talk about February 6th, Knucklemania. What do you have in store for the fans?
February 7th.
7th, excuse me. Sorry.
I have some big announcements that are coming this week. That's going to be part of like the pre-fight show that I'm going to announce. Obviously, we got some great fights on the card, but we're going to make this. I want people to leave and go. I actually inspired a little bit by the owner of, I don't know his name, but the owner of Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
I really like that guy, man, and he gets it. He understands the fans, and I'm not going to do that kind of stuff, but I mean, there's going to be a ton of activations at Knucklemania where you're going to be like, holy shit, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? That was awesome. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's going to be what Knucklemania is about, making it a party, really a fight party. Like, it's going to be a fight party. There's going to be a lot of things there. There's going to be some great special guests in attendance that people are not expecting. And I think it's going to be the best fight show or fight event that anyone will ever have went to on February 7, 2026 in Philly.
I can't wait for it. Dave, I'm out of questions, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or maybe somebody you want to shout out before we get off here?
Nah, all good, man. I appreciate it. I mean, your questions were good in class, and I appreciate that. And yeah, man. Look, the only thing I say is like, I say this because I lived it. Like, don't quit.
Mhm.
Like, if you have something real, if you have something that you really think can work, not like you can't say, listen, I'm gonna fly. You're never gonna fly, buddy. So don't try to fly. But
Right.
if you have something in your head that you really think can work, man, don't let anybody tell you they can't. Because people want to tell you that you can't do something because not because of they think it's impossible, but because of their own limitations. So they tell you that because of their own limitations, and don't let anybody else's limitations interfere your success.
Absolutely. People told me a year ago I'd never get in touch with you.
Well, here we are.
There
Well,
we
man,
go.
well, have a
Dave,
great.
thank you so much. I'm going to upload this. I'll send you the first copy. If you want to proof it and tell me it sucks, take it down. I will. At this point, I've talked to you enough. I consider you a friend. I hope you consider me the same. And I hope to talk to you again soon, man. Thank you for the interview.
Have a good weekend. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Wow. Dave Feldman on the other side. Thank you so much for stopping in to check out this episode. If you're thirsty, as always, pick up a can of Bucked Up Energy. This is the white gummy deer. I think it's their version of the white gummy bear. It's really tasty. And also, if you want some cool fighter gear, shirts, hats, beanies, sweats, gloves, shin guards, mitts, anything like that, stop by HKA USA, pick yourself some up. Thank you for stopping by again. I'll see you next time on the other side.